Hello, everyone, and welcome. Dyads versus Triads. When our true nature of mere being is apparently transformed into the nature of rising as the mind, the three real aspects of our true nature, namely existence, which is formless, consciousness, which is knowledge, and ananda, which is peace or completeness, will seemingly become their respective opposites, namely form, ignorance, and incompleteness, and will thus assume the form of the triads in the spiritual world and will later manifest as dyads in the physical world. Dyad means two, the pair of opposites, and triad means three, the three faces of one reality. But why the opposite attributes are also manifested? Because the reality wants to realize its true nature, realize its magnificence through the experience of the opposites in the physical or gross world. As we all know, you cannot experience peace without losing it first. Gross relationships, therefore, are always dyads, whereas relationships of the higher realms are invariably triads. When reality apparently divided itself into portions or souls for the purpose of manifestation, for the first time, this and that existed quite apart from each other. Thus, three elements suddenly existed: that which is here, that which is there, and that which is neither here nor there or nowhere, but which must exist for here and there to exist. All that exists in the physical universe is composed of either something or nothing. This is the binary system of all physical life. Metaphysical life, on the other hand, exists in a triangular system. Because to create anything, you need a minimum of three forces or aspects. Less than three won't do. Religions say there are three main gods: generator, operator, and destroyer, God. Yoga says there are three forces or gunas of nature: sattva, rajas, and tamas. Science says there are three fundamental forces of nature: gravity, electromagnetism, and strong nuclear force. Quantum physics says there are three principal subatomic particles: proton, neutron, and electron, etc., etc. Everything physical initially appears to be and is understood as a dyad, whereas everything metaphysical or spiritual initially appears to be and is understood as a triad. Triune reality is the divine pattern. Examples of physical dyads include male, female, up, down, left, right, and so on. Examples of metaphysical triads include Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, Son, Father, Holy Spirit, body, mind, soul, subconscious, conscious, superconscious, rajas, sattva, tamas, here, nowhere, there, or before, now, after. Things are reduced by design from their triad form to the lesser state of the dyad form for physical manifestation and for the purpose of complete experience. An example of how reality manifests itself at various levels of perception is the human binary experience of warm and cold. We say that a thing is either warm or cold. This is a binary consideration suggesting that a thing is either this or that. In the physical world, many people have a way of looking at things that categorizes them as either black or white. This either or configuration is common. Deeper exploration reveals that either or configurations are simplistic configuration at best. We find that there is more than simply warm or cold, but there could also be that which is neither warm nor cold. We call that tepid. There is a neutral state that exists between the extremities that form the binary system of things physical. This place of neutrality is the balancing point between the extremes of the dyads. It is in recognizing the existence of this balance point that we acknowledge the true nature of all life to be at least a three-point system. All things in physical life are triangles, simply appearing to be straight lines with a beginning and an end. That is, all things in physical life are closed system, like a triangle, but that appear to be open system, like a line. However, in truth, all things in manifestation retain their triad form, merely appearing to manifest as dyads. Ultimately, at the highest level of expression, experience, and understanding, all forms become formless. Even the triad form of metaphysical reality dissolves into the formlessness of a united whole, in which the triad is seen as simply a variation of the single thing that is, which is reality or God. So, what is the best way to experience a dyad world having a triad reality? It is the shift from a dyad reality to a triad reality that is going to change our entire experience. Again, it is the shift from a dyad reality to a triad reality that is going to change our entire experience. When we see triads, when we see male, female, both, good, evil, both, up, down, both, fast, slow, both, big, small, both, and so on and so on. Then we realize that while a thing appears to be either good or bad, in reality it is both at the same time, which is a third thing altogether. This is about seeing the dyad together rather than as separate elements. In other words, we stop seeing either this or that, but both this and that simultaneously, same time, which is a third thing altogether. This mysterious third thing is so mysterious that we don't even have a word for it. We wonder, how can two things be a third thing called both? A thing is neither good nor bad. It is something in between. And it is that in-betweenness that holds good and bad in place and makes the experience of them possible. And making the experience of reality possible by creating the illusion of not reality through the production of a contextual field within which divinity can be fully realized in relative terms is the way that life works. Our world of duality is created by the triune reality, Satchit Ananda, so that divinity itself may know itself in its own experience. What we have done here on earth is produce the illusion of a dyad out of the reality of a triad. And in this way, we have created duality, including the most important of dualities, love and fear, birth and death. The trick to making the life journey a joy is to understand what is actually happening, to understand the nature of ultimate reality. All things are one thing. Yet, in this physical reality, the world of our illusion, we do well to think in terms of the three things in one, the Holy Trinity, Trimurti. We do well to get out of a dyad world into a triad reality, to embrace the triune truth. A thing is neither this nor that, but a third thing altogether. The third, that is the one thing, Satchit Ananda, existence, consciousness, fullness. In the body, mind, soul triad, the mind is the balancing point between the body and the soul. The body and the soul could be seen as the two extremes of a strictly binary system. In strictly binary thinking, things are either physical or non-physical. That is, they are considered to be either matter or anti-matter, or what we could call body or soul. By thinking triangularly, we are able to conclude that things can be both body and soul. Indeed, this is exactly what we are. This awareness is created by mind, which acts as a linkage or balancing point between the two extremities. It is in the mind or buddhi that we conceive of both the body and the soul, and thus provide ourselves with the opportunity to experience both, feeling and knowing, all at once. From the perspective of ultimate reality, even the triad of warm, tepid, cold does not exist. Ultimately, the triad is an expression of the one thing called temperature. Similarly, before, now, after are simply limited expressions of or perceptions of the one thing called eternity. Likewise, body, mind, soul are limited expressions or perceptions of the one thing called being or reality. In physical life, we usually see, indeed, we usually choose to see only a portion of the universal whole, which is a holograph. This limited perspective is what allows us to sort out data from the holograph in such a way that we may experience ourselves as a portion of the data itself. In short, perception, how we look at things, is our way of becoming individualized within the whole. Perception is a function of the mind, the balance point between the body and the soul. The most basic dyad of all physical life is love and fear. Somewhere in between love and fear is a midpoint at which neither one nor the other is experienced in any degree. This is the place of neutrality or non-attachment, dispassion, sannyasa or vairagya that is described by many masters. It is a metaphysical place that exists in the mind and not in the physical reality. It is the balance point between the two, and it is in this place of perfect balance between the positive and the negative aspects of the binary system of physical life where all masters reside. Whereas human masters reside in perfect serenity, perfect peace, in the balance point of the binary system, reality resides everywhere within that system. Indeed, reality is the system. A common man resides in action. A master or a sage or a jnani resides in inaction. And the reality resides in non-action, which contains everything. The trick here is action and inaction are not different to non-action. But non-action is not the same as action and inaction. Thank you.